Boy, 11 years old, died while protecting pregnant mom from alleged attack by felon recently released out on parole. We're going to get into that too. An 11-year-old Chicago boy is dead after trying to protect his pregnant mother when a convicted felon allegedly attacked them with the knife at their house a day after he was released on parole. At about 8 a.m., the woman was getting her children ready for school when Crosetti Brand, 37 years old, put him up, if I didn't already do it, with whom she had a relationship with more than a decade earlier, allegedly showed up at her house and forced his way inside. During the attack, the boy, Jaden Perkins, tried to protect his mother. Jaden and his mother were rushed to the hospital where the boy eventually died. The woman, who was 8 months pregnant, and her unborn baby are expected to recover. Brand was serving a 16-year sentence for home invasion and aggravated assault at the Stateville Correction Center when he was released on parole. The next day, he entered the home of the family and took the life of an innocent 11-year-old boy, which is very upsetting. The boy's mother was stabbed multiple times and she had an order of protection against the offender. So, before I continue, this is not one of those cases where it's like, oh, she was messing with the Ray and, she was in constant communication with him and they were arguing and blah, blah. And then, he went on a stabbing rampage or anything like that. It's simply he was locked up once he got out on parole, which he never should have gotten out on parole anyways. The next day, he comes over to the house, breaks in, and then is ready to start murdering people. That's what this kind of story is, okay? So this is not some kind of, she's been messing around. She ain't been messing with him for a decade, it appears. But let's continue. Her 5-year-old son was also present and witnessed the attack. We have to imagine what that 5-year-old is going to have to deal with for the rest of their life after witnessing something so brutal. Brand, this is the 37-year-old parolee. Brand faces a slew of charges, including first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, home invasion with a dangerous weapon, unlawful use of said weapon by a felon, and prior violation of an order of protection. In October, Brand was released on parole and placed on an electronic monitor. During this time, he threatened the victim via text and showed up at her house. He was sent back to prison in February for the alleged parole violation, and then he was released again. So he was out. He had an ankle monitor on. He was messaging her via text, and he showed up at the house. He was sent back to prison in February for an alleged parole violation, and then released again. This doesn't seem like a guy who's on on a straight path. This doesn't seem like that kind of guy. This seems like a guy who never should have been allowed out of prison, but you're letting him out. And then you have the son who is brave enough to go and try to protect his pregnant mother. He ends up dying because of that. But there is an update to this, which I thought was interesting. It says Illinois parole board members resign after granting release of a man who fatally stabbed the 11-year-old boy less than 24 hours later. The chair of the Illinois Prisoner Review Board and a board member have resigned over backlash of granting the release of a man who fatally stabbed his ex-girlfriend's young son less than 24 hours after he was freed. Board chair Donald Shelter and board member Leanne Miller have stepped down. So something about that's very interesting. Now you all are like, oh man, you murdered somebody right after we let you out. Ooh. Now, here's the thing. I feel like y'all should have to, of course, you can't necessarily know or predict what someone's going to do. But I think you guys need to be a little bit more strict, or a lot more strict, on who you let out. You let someone out on parole. Oh, they violated their parole. Oh, let's catch them. Oh, let's put them back out. No, that's not how that works. You violate your parole, 10 more years. We don't see you for 10 more years, and you will not be eligible for parole until you serve X amount of years. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that needs to be happening, because We're seeing people come out of prison or jail and they commit the same crimes. Robbery, sexual assault, murder, domestic battery, you name it, whatever the case may be. And you're just letting these people come back out because what? Well, I mean, I said I was nice. I mean, they should have just believed me, right? And y'all believe in these fools? Nah, you're going to have to do some more. I need to see GEDs. I need to see college degrees. I need to see that you did something, that you wrote a book or 3. I need to see something. I'm not going to just be letting you out just because you smiled and said, oh, I'm a changed person. And now y'all felt so guilty because you're getting backlash. And people are saying, yo, why are you allowing these people to get out? This is on you. This boy died because of your actions. Yes, this person did it. But you allowed this person to do it because you allowed them out when they really should never have even gotten out. Wow. Let me know what you all think down below.